So I was originally thinking I was going to make this video a little bit more of a vlog style, running around town, doing things. But as I thought about the topic, I was like, no, this needs to be more of a serious sit down, have a conversation type video, because this is a serious, big deal that needs a serious sit-down type conversation. Because Jill and I have been working like crazy to make business work since we got married 10 years ago. We've tried a lot of things, failed in a lot of different ways, learned a little bit of wisdom, hopefully, but have also just constantly struggled with burnout and fatigue and feeling like we just didn't have time for the things that mattered, and never reaching the life that we actually wanted to be living. And we got addicted to the hustle because it always felt like success was just around the corner if we just pushed a little bit further and a little bit harder. And in this last year, we quit. We quit the hustle. In a lot of ways, the decision was probably way harder than it should have been, but it wasn't easy. And there's been this really subtle but really significant mindset shift, and we're pretty early into it, so we don't have all the answers, but I wanted to talk to you guys about what that change is, why we made it, and the difference it's been making in our lives now that we have. I don't know if you can hear it in my throat. We've been having a cold go through the house the last couple of weeks. I'm gonna get myself some tea. So a little while back, while I was working through what to do next with business and whatnot, I came across a Hormozy video. And it was a short little video where he was talking about how stress is so destructive to creative thinking. And we were pretty aware that we were living in a fairly stress mode of life. And he was talking about how if you're stressed about paying the bills next month or making payroll as a business owner, that is totally destroying your ability to think creatively about future problems and innovate, and going to make it almost impossible for you to make good strategic business moves to actually get yourself out of that predicament. And I could feel that happening in my head, that I was having trouble thinking critically oftentimes about what to do next in life. About our next business move. Anyway, it really resonated with me. And his solution was pretty logical. You need to cut back on the things that are taking the energy, the things that are taking the resources. Cut back on your expenses. Scale back until things are sustainable, things are working again, and create the margin, the headroom you need, the headspace you need to think creatively again. Now, one of our early videos on this channel, we talked about how we were trying to not wait for life to happen anymore. We were constantly putting things off into the future, saying, and then we'll do that. After we do this, after this happens, then we'll do that. And I'd begun to realize that that was one of the reasons we were hustling, is that we, and I would expect most of us, tend to think that financial success will enable the lifestyle we want to live. And it makes logical sense to us. I make money and then I can pay to do the things I want. I can buy the car, I can go on the vacations, I can not worry about my mortgage. I can afford to do the things with my children that I want to do with them. I can give them good gifts. But the more I've thought about money, the more I've realized that money is never the thing. It's not really the goal, is it? It's what the stuff represents. It's what the vacations represent. Oftentimes it's not even really about the experience. It's about the relationships we have with people, the way we feel day to day, that matters a whole lot more to me. And that most of the things that this hustle addiction had put off into the future that I would be able to do once we'd made it financially didn't really have hardly anything to do with money. And if I was honest, could be done with very little or even no money in most cases. Not that it wouldn't be nice to do them with money. I wouldn't mind that at all. But the money wasn't as necessary as I had felt like it was. And there's an old saying I was reminded of recently that is that right priorities fix most of life's problems. And so I've been starting to ask myself, if something's not working, where are my priorities off? And so I think we maybe have it backwards when we think that our work will enable our lifestyle that we want, when really it's that our lifestyle enables the work we want. And that just as likely as not, by prioritizing business success in hopes that it will one day give me the lifestyle I want, is as likely as not only going to give me more of the lifestyle that was required to give me the business success in the first place. More saying no to family, more saying no to friends to make the business work so that you don't lose it. And because we'd been leaning so hard into this hustle, feeling like business success was just constantly around the corner, our home life had suffered. We had not spent time like we wanted to, developing relationships with friends like we wanted to, developing relationship with family like we wanted to, pouring into our kids like we wanted to, becoming the kind of people that we actually wanted to be on a day-to-day basis. And that a lot of our life stresses were actually coming because of our neglect of everything except for business. So in this last year, we made the conscious decision to make business second. That was really hard because we felt this financial pressure on us. I love to work. I want to work more in the future, but I want to work in a way that strengthens my relationship with my family, that strengthens my relationship with my community, not hinders it. And obviously we still need to make money, we still need to make an income, but we've tightened our belt financially so that we don't have to stress so hard about the finances, and we can focus more on what actually matters to us. For me, that means that I want to put more work into my home life, into my relationship with my family, into developing relationships within our community than I do focusing on how to make money in any given week. And like any addiction, the hustle has been hard to quit. It's constantly wanting to come back, but it is getting easier to say no as we go forward. And the amazing thing is that financially, we're okay. In a lot of ways, we're probably better than we've ever been. And it's taken time to heal that burnout, to let that extra margin that we're developing by actually working on household rhythms, working out chores, relationships, that extra headroom that it's given us, it's already started to help us think clearer. We can already see that we're thinking more creatively about moving forward, about life. So if you're finding yourself burnt out, if you're finding yourself constantly addicted to the hustle, not living the life you actually want to live, think about it. I'm not saying do anything rash, be wise about it, but I think it's worth considering. And it's been one of the best decisions we've made in a long time.